Andrew Tate owns a car that only 20 people in the world can buy. It cost him $5.2 million, and he got the first one ever delivered. But that's just the beginning. His $130 million garage includes cars so rare that some millionaires can only dream of owning one. Today, we're counting down the top 10 cars in Andrew's insane car collection. Number 10, Aston Martin Valkyrie. Let's start with something most people will never see in person. The Aston Martin Valkyrie is the first mid-engine Aston Martin ever made. Before this, Aston Martin had never attempted anything like it. It took them decades to finally build one, and when they did, only 999 were produced. This isn't just an expensive piece of automotive engineering, it's a collaboration between Aston Martin and Red Bull Racing's Adrian Newey, the man who's designed some of the most dominant Formula One cars in history. That's why the Valkyrie doesn't look like a normal car. It looks like a fighter jet. The hybrid powertrain combines a 6.5-liter V12 with an electric motor producing over 1,160 horsepower. But the real engineering brilliance is in the aerodynamics. The entire underfloor generates massive downforce without needing a giant rear wing. It pulls air through the body like a vacuum, pinning the car to the road at high speeds. Most mid-engine supercars sacrifice daily usability for performance. The Valkyrie doesn't even pretend to be practical. The cabin is so tight that drivers sit in a reclined F1 style position. There's barely any storage, no comfort features. This is a road legal race car and nothing else. But if there's anyone who's gonna push this thing to its limits, it's Tate. He doesn't buy cars to look at them. Number 9, McLaren 765 LT. Tate had a problem. His McLaren 720S kept breaking down. So instead of fixing it, he upgraded to something faster, lighter, and more brutal, the McLaren 765 LT. But was it really an upgrade, or just another expensive headache waiting to happen? The 720S had too many issues, reliability problems, constant maintenance. For someone who actually drives his cars hard, that's unacceptable. So Tate made the switch. The 765 LT is essentially a track weapon disguised as a street car. It takes everything the 720S does well and cranks it up. Better aerodynamics, more power, less weight. McLaren stripped out 80 kilograms, added more aggressive bodywork, and tuned the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 to push 765 horsepower. The result, 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. But the numbers don't tell the full story. The LT, which stands for long tail, is built for one purpose: destroying track records. The extended rear bodywork improves stability at high speeds. The carbon fiber everywhere isn't just for looks, it's functional weight reduction. Even the exhaust sits higher and points upward, reducing back pressure and improving performance. In Tate's words, if you're going to go fast, at least drive something that won't break down when you push it to the limit. The 765 LT delivers on that promise. It's not a comfortable grand tourer. It's not a daily driver. It's a precision instrument designed to go absurdly fast without apology. And unlike the 720S, it actually stays together. Number 8, Ferrari SF90. Tate bought the Ferrari SF90 without even test driving it. That should tell you everything. On paper, 986 horsepower, hybrid powertrain, Ferrari's most advanced technology, but Tate's first impression, the hybrid system is a scam. He already owns multiple Ferrari 812s, so when the SF90 came out, he figured why not add another to the collection. But this wasn't love at first drive. The SF90 combines a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 with 3 electric motors. Ferrari marketed it as the future of supercars, performance with efficiency. Tate saw it differently. In his words, it still runs on a V8 and the electric part barely does anything. His complaints were blunt. The interior is uncomfortable. The seats are too aggressive for anything other than track use. The touch-sensitive controls are annoying. For a car that costs over $500,000, those details matter. But here's where it gets interesting. When you turn off all the safety features and actually push the SF90 to its limit, the car transforms. It's not just fast, it's absurdly fast. The hybrid system, which seemed pointless at low speeds, suddenly makes sense when you're accelerating out of corners. The electric motors fill in the torque gaps instantly, giving the car a level of responsiveness that pure combustion engines can't match. Tate eventually rated it 8.5 out of 10. Not bad for a car he initially dismissed as a gimmick. Number 7, Rimac Nevera. Tate owns an electric car, let that sink in. For someone who's built his entire brand on gasoline engines and raw horsepower, owning an EV seems contradictory. But when it's the Rimac Nevera, the fastest production electric car in the world, even Tate pays attention. 1,877 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 1.74 seconds. That's faster than almost anything on four wheels. The Nevera isn't just fast in a straight line, it set 23 performance records in a single day. It dominated Goodwood, it crushed the Nürburgring as the fastest production EV ever. This isn't some eco-friendly compliance car, it's a legitimate hypercar that happens to run on batteries. Built by Rimac, the company that now owns Bugatti, the Nevera represents a shift in automotive engineering. Rimac's battery and powertrain technology is so advanced that Porsche, Audi, and Apollo borrow it for their own hypercars. When legacy brands need electric performance, they go to Rimac. The cheapest Nevera starts at over $2.2 million. Tate's spec, $4.4 million. 4 electric motors, 1 at each wheel, deliver instant torque with no lag, no turbo spool, no waiting. The acceleration is violent, the handling is razor sharp because the battery pack sits low in the chassis, giving it a center of gravity that most supercars can't match. But here's the real question, does Tate actually drive it, or is it just a status symbol? Given his track record, he's probably one of the few Nevera owners who'll actually push it. Most will sit in garages as investments. Tate didn't spend $4.4 million to let it collect dust. Number 6, Rimac C2. He couldn't decide, so he bought both. Tate walked into the dealership, looked at the Rimac C2 in 2 different colors, and instead of choosing one, he left with both. That's the level of decision making we're dealing with here. The C2 is a $1.7 million hybrid hypercar that sits somewhere between traditional supercars and full EVs. It combines a twin-turbo 2.0-liter engine with 3 electric motors pushing nearly 1,900 horsepower. Unlike most hybrids that focus on fuel efficiency, the C2 was built to destroy expectations. Rimac didn't design this to be environmentally friendly. They designed it to dominate racetracks while still having the versatility of a hybrid powertrain. The electric motors provide instant torque at low speeds, while the gasoline engine takes over at higher RPMs. The result is a power delivery curve with no gaps, no waiting, and no compromises. It's the best of both worlds, when done right. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Tate owns 2 C2s and a Nevera. That's 3 Rimac hypercars. For someone who's known for collecting traditional supercars from Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Bugatti, the fact that he's invested so heavily in a Croatian electric car company says something. Rimac isn't a household name like Ferrari. They don't have decades of racing heritage. But what they do have is cutting-edge technology that's rewriting the rules of performance, and Tate recognized that early. Number 5, Ferrari 812 Superfast. Why have one when you can have 2? Tate owns 2 Ferrari 812 Superfasts, not 1, but 2. At $365,000 each, that's over $700,000 in just this model alone. But there's a reason he doubled down. The 812 Superfast is one of the last naturally aspirated V12 Grand Tourers Ferrari will ever make. While most modern performance cars are moving to hybrid setups and turbocharged engines for efficiency, the 812 keeps it brutally simple. A 6.5-liter V12 pushing 789 horsepower with no electric assistance, no turbo lag, just raw combustion. It outguns a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ in horsepower. It outruns a McLaren 720S in top speed, hitting 211 miles per hour. And it does all of this while maintaining the front engine, rear-wheel drive layout that purists love. This is old-school Ferrari engineering at its peak. Big engine, big noise, big presence, no compromises. The trade-off: it's brutal on fuel. We're talking 12 miles per gallon and 340 grams per kilometer in emissions. This car doesn't care about efficiency. It's designed for one thing: delivering an experience that turbocharged engines and hybrids can't replicate. Tate has said the 812 is his favorite Ferrari, and it's easy to see why. The SF90 might be faster on paper, but the 812 delivers something more visceral, a connection between driver and machine that modern technology often erases. Number 4, Koenigsegg Jesko. Tate just added a 2024 Koenigsegg Jesko to his collection, and this one's different. It's a third-hand or fourth-hand car. That sounds odd until you understand how Koenigsegg's work. These cars are so rare that their resale value often exceeds the original factory price. When someone sells a Jesko, collectors fight over it. Tate didn't wait for the secondary market. He secured one directly, but the fact that it changed hands multiple times before him shows just how exclusive this machine is. His Jesko is an attack variant, and that name isn't marketing. This car is engineered for extreme aerodynamics. The massive rear wing generates insane downforce at high speeds, pinning the car to the road like it's on rails. The bodywork isn't just aggressive, it's functional. Every vent, every curve, every angle is designed to manage airflow and maximize grip. Under the hood sits a 5.0-liter twin-turbo V8, producing up to 1,600 horsepower on E85 fuel. The transmission is a 9-speed multi-clutch system that Koenigsegg calls the light-speed transmission. It can change gears in milliseconds, faster than a dual clutch, faster than anything else on the road. But what really makes Tate's Jesko stand out is the spec. Crystal white wrapped in Tiffany blue satin. It's not subtle. The interior matches, two-tone leather in Tiffany blue and snow white with chrome accents. There's even a G-force meter mounted in the cabin for when things get serious. Number 3, Bugatti Chiron per Sport. Now let's talk about the car that made him a meme. The Bugatti Chiron per Sport, $5.2 million, only 60 exist. Tate secured number 18 on the list. Here's the thing, it's slower than the standard Chiron. That's not a typo. Bugatti stripped out top speed capability to focus on handling and agility. The Per Sport tops out at 217 miles per hour instead of the standard Chiron's 261 miles per hour. But Tate didn't care about that. He bought it because exclusivity matters more than a spec sheet. Quad turbo W16 engine, 1,500 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. But the real story isn't the performance, it's the color. Tate custom ordered it in Badman Copper. Not a factory option, not a standard shade. It's a bold metallic finish that polarized people online. Some loved it, most hated it, and when critics flooded his social media with comments mocking the color, Tate responded with 4 words that became internet history. What color is your Bugatti? 4 words, millions of impressions. That single line turned criticism into a viral moment. It wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement about wealth, status, and the audacity to own something most people will never experience. The phrase became bigger than the car itself, spawning countless memes and debates. When Romanian authorities arrested Tate, rumors spread fast. People assumed they seized everything, including the Bugatti. News outlets ran with it. Social media exploded. But here's the truth. While 11 of his cars were taken, the Bugatti was never in Romania. Number 2, Lamborghini Huracan Evo, Mansory. Tate walked into a Lamborghini dealership, looked at the Huracan Evo, and bought it on the spot. No test drive, no negotiation, just I'll take it. But he wasn't done. He sent it straight to Mansory, one of the most controversial tuning companies in the automotive world. Mansory doesn't do subtle. They specialize in aggressive body kits, exotic materials, and transformations that make purists cringe. But Tate didn't care about purists. The Huracan Evo already packs a 5.2-liter V10 that produces 631 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. It's a legitimate supercar straight from the factory, but Mansory took it further. Forged carbon fiber upgrades on the hood, side skirts, and rear diffuser, a larger chin spoiler that changes the car's entire front profile, custom exhaust tips that growl louder than stock, and a massive rear wing that's impossible to ignore. Functional for downforce, but primarily there to make a statement. Then there's the Italian flag stripes running across the body. It's not a factory option, it's Mansory adding a touch of Italy to a car that's already Italian. Some call it excessive. Tate calls it perfect. He already owned an older Huracan, so when the Evo came out, he compared the two. The Evo's updated aerodynamics, improved handling, and refined interior made it a clear step up, but it was Mansory's work that pushed it into a different category entirely. This isn't just a Lamborghini anymore, it's a rolling showcase of what happens when you take an already extreme car and remove every limit. Most Huracan owners keep them stock or make minor tweaks. Tate went the opposite direction, louder, bolder, and unapologetically excessive. Number 1, Pagani Huayra BC, only 20 exist. Tate got number 1. The Pagani Huayra BC isn't just rare, it's absurdly exclusive. At $5.2 million, this Italian masterpiece sits at the top of Tate's collection, and for good reason. This isn't about horsepower or lap times, it's about craftsmanship that most car manufacturers can't even attempt. Pagani doesn't mass produce anything. They build 20 Huayra BCs and called it done. Every panel is handcrafted, every stitch in the interior is placed by hand. The carbon fiber body, finished in viola tricolor, takes weeks to create. The Kalovich leather interior is custom tailored to the owner's specifications. Under the hood sits a twin-turbo V12 developed by AMG, pushing over 750 horsepower, 0 to 100 in 3 seconds flat. But raw performance isn't what separates the Huayra BC from other hypercars. It's the attention to detail that borders on obsession. The BC stands for Benny Caiola, a close friend of Horacio Pagani and the first customer to own the original Huayra. This variant is lighter, more aerodynamic, and more focused than the standard model. Active aerodynamics adjust in real time, optimizing downforce depending on speed and driving conditions. The suspension is fully adjustable, even the exhaust note is tuned like a musical instrument. Tate bought his from VIP Motors in Dubai, the same dealership that moves some of the world's rarest exotics. When you're first on the list for a car this exclusive, it's not about speed anymore, it's about status. Most Huayra BC owners will never push their cars. These machines sit in climate-controlled garages, appreciating in value, never seeing a racetrack. But Tate didn't buy this to look at it. He bought it because in his world, if you're not first, you're nobody.